This shows that Kundalini Shakti is manifesting in a higher dimension. The purpose of all this pranayama is to increase the vibratory level or awaken the Kundalini Shakti. They are one and the same. That is why we use various methods: physical, mental, and pranic. The physical method is by controlling the sphincter muscle of the anus by applying the Jalandhara bandha to affect the vagus nerve. When both impulses are controlled, the energy builds up. It's like the electronic flash on a camera. When you turn on the flash, energy from the 6-volt battery builds up in the condenser little by little. Then, when you press the button, a flash of light comes about 10,000 to 20,000 volts for a fraction of a second and to take the photograph. This flash is very intense and powerful. So, you get a tremendous amount of light even though for only a fraction of a second. The same thing happens when you hold the breath and control the energy. As you hold the breath, your lower batteries start charging up with both prana and apana. Then suddenly one day, when the nadis are purified, the energy starts flashing through the spinal cord in an instant. At that time, all of the chakras are opened up. This is the awakening of the chakras by the movement of the Kundalini to the asanas, pranayama, and purification. By chanting mantras and eating right diet, the energy must go up automatically. Your spiritual progress will increase proportionally as the energy level goes to the awakening of the Kundalini Shakti. This should be understood theoretically. The energy is within you. It is to be awakened. Do not make it grosser or bring it to a lower state. Withdraw the senses as much as you can and bring that energy to the higher centers through your imagination and concentration. Wherever you think, there the prana goes. That is a law. Conversely, wherever prana goes, there thought goes. Thought and prana are interrelated. One cannot move without the other also moving. That is why concentration, imagination, and physical exercise together give you a complete holistic approach to the awakening of the Shakti. That is why you need asanas, pranayama, bandhas, mudras, right diet, and the right atmosphere. A right atmosphere would be beautiful mountains where the magnetic current, that is the prana, is very strong from all the vegetation. Everything in nature radiates so that you can absorb and store this prana for your higher spiritual development. Your physical body is like a machine. It runs on 2 types of energy: chemical energy, which comes from food, and psychic energy called prana, which comes from all the objects we take in: food, water, air, and sunlight. These are the basic sources of our prana and they are found everywhere in nature. Prana also exists in the vacuum of space, underground, and even in water. But it is not a chemical thing. It is electrical in nature. Your body is a storehouse of prana and the blood system, which is a circulatory system, and that acts as a transformer, diverting the prana from the astral to the physical. Yogis do not believe that the body exists merely because of its physiochemical nature. To them, it is basically electrical in nature. When the electrical connection from the astral to the physical is severed, that is like a battery disconnected from an engine, it doesn't matter how powerful the engine is, it cannot start. The impulses of prana travel through the astral to the physical through an astral umbilical cord at our solar plexus. When this cord is severed, no more prana can come to the physical body. If the prana comes in very small amounts, then the body will comatose, that is, become unconscious. If you understand the electrical nature of our bodies, you will understand the purpose of pranayama. I will try to explain in modern terms as some of the ancient terms are very difficult to grasp. It is said that you can block the air in the sushumna, in the throat region, in the stomach region, in the back region, in the ear region, in the eye region. Actually, how can you block the air in these places when the air which you inhale does not go into these places at all? What does this mean? Actually, it is not a physical blockage. It is the diversion of energy from one source to another. In yoga, we call this energy prana. The problem is that there is no English equivalent for this word, so it gets translated as air. Even Indian yogis make this mistake when they don't know how to translate from the Sanskrit. I like to explain these ideas using analogies with electronic items or terms. Most of you are familiar with such gadgets as radios, cameras, and computers. There are three basic components common to all of them. Similar things exist in your body, but please don't take what I say literally. It's only to help you understand how such things as locks work in the body mechanism. When you do pranayama, it will help you a great deal if you understand this. Three things should be understood: transformers, condensers, and resistors. Coming to transformers, in electronic components, there is always a source of power, usually a battery or household current. A small tape recorder cannot handle the 110 volt current as it enters the house, so it must be stepped down to a low voltage by a transformer, otherwise the components will burn up. There are step-down transformers and step-up transformers for decreasing and increasing the voltage. Coming to condensers, which are also called capacitors, they are storehouses of electricity. Resistors. Another concept in electronics that we should understand is that of resistance. We can increase or decrease the resistance to the flow of energy. More impurities will reduce the electrical flow. An example is the ordinary garden hose through which water flows at a specific velocity unless constricted by squeezing. The pump continues to try to force 16 gallons of water per minute through the hose, but when its capacity is reduced by constriction, the pressure goes up. And so, the water comes out more forcefully. In our body, something similar to a condenser also exists. Prana is like electricity but very subtle. All electricity flows through wires, and in our body it flows through nadis or meridians in the Chinese system. The problem here is that when I say nerve, many people understand only the visible type of nerve. The nadi is equivalent to the nerve in the physical body, but it may be called an astral nerve tube as it exists not in the physical but in the astral body. I will not be able to completely communicate this subject in electronic terms, but there does exist a similarity between a physical nerve and your astral nerve. They are counterparts. The difference is that one is visible and the other is not. In our bodies, the impulse coming from the brain through the vagus nerve, which controls the heart and lungs, are all impulses called prana. Previously, it was thought that the heart was not susceptible to voluntary control, that you could not control the heartbeat by concentration. But yogis can demonstrate that the heartbeat can be slowed down with a concentration or by such practices as Jalandhara Bandha. They shut down the flow of prana. We are not talking about physical prana but psychic prana.